And it says we are live. I'm here. You're beautiful. That must mean it's Thursday night, and that must mean it's time for GotBot Goes Live. I, of course, am your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, a.k.a. GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share. Of course, subscribe. And while you are at it, light them up, baby. I forgot my bell, so I'm just going to say ding. Hit the notification bell. It helps me out a ton, and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that is in the description down below, also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring, or, of course, as always, hit the join button and become a channel member right here on YouTube. Give me a moment to just get everything sort of kind of set up here. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. We are almost to another weekend. And hopefully that'll be a nice weekend for you guys as well. Hey, Blue. What? Oh, yeah. Hey, Heathen. Hey, Big M. Hey, Axel. Hey, Mercenary. Warpig. All right. So, as of course we have people coming in here now. Hey, Mike. I'm going to get going on the news. We are on here a little bit early, but you know what? That's not necessarily a bad thing. Because it'll mean that we'll get out of here a little bit early, right? So let's kind of fly through the news, shall we? The very first thing is the Fortress Maximus reissue. That's right, the 2016 Titans Return Fortress Maximus is getting a reissue. The price is higher than what it was when it first came out, which doesn't surprise me, but it's still, I think, a little bit cheaper than kind of the going price. If not, it's about the same. And there's certainly a lot more interaction that's possible, right? I mean, right here you have, you know, the head unit, that's Cerebros, which of course becomes Emissary or Spike if you prefer. The ship mode is fine. The robot mode is fine. The base mode is bland. However, there's a lot of different fan modes and stuff that you're capable of doing with that base mode to make it seem more G1 accurate. Plus, we also now live in an era where if you're so inclined, you can get things like this guy. This, of course, is Cog, or you can get Red Cog or multiple ones to help with things like buildings and towers and that sort of stuff if you want a little bit more of a city feel than a base feel. So personally, I really support this. I know a lot of people miss the Metroplex, miss the Fortress Maximus. I know a lot of people will say, I prefer the G1 Fortress Maximus. But for something that is in a more affordable range than that is going, you know, I mean, G1 Fort Max tends to go for what, $500-$600. So for something that's more affordable and that honestly you can still kind of fiddle with to get some various alt modes, the Titans Return one is still quite good. And I mean, the dude's 2 feet tall and he is beefy. He's fun. I still enjoy him to this day. Of course, you can go back in time a little bit and see I think it was a 3-part review I did there, and some comparisons with Metroplex as well, if you want to go back and, of course, check that out. So that's my thoughts on it. I think that's great. I think that's great news. We need more of those sort of reissues, I think, for characters that people missed out on. The Optimus Prime video game controller. We talked about that a little while ago as well, and noted that video game controller is very similar to ones that came out like that were styled after like Sonic the Hedgehog and that sort of stuff. The Optimus Prime one is due to come out on October the 13th. On one side, we have Barricade and Megatron. That's on one grip. On the other grip, there's like the head of Evergreen Optimus. So, I mean, if you're into not only Transformers, but if you're into video games, then this is probably the controller for you. Should be coming sooner rather than later. Let's go over here, and I'll check in with you guys in just a moment. We saw pictures of King Mini. If you don't know what King Mini is, it is Kang Toys like legend scale version of, well, I guess they're doing all of the Predacons to make Predaking. This is their version of Razor Claw. He's still stylized. Not as stylized as the MP scaled one, but still pretty stylized and quite a spiky torso. But I do look at the Legends one and get a vibe that this is a little more Predaking-ish to me. Like, it's still stylized, but I don't think it's to the same degree as the MP one. So I sort of like it. It's recognizable. That's what I'd say. Even though it's stylized, it's still recognizable. The combiner hands are able to go together as like a little crab creature here. So they're not just left, they're creatures, right? Kind of like the feet become, I think, a couple of wolves or something with the MP one. There's an interesting looking torso. I already mentioned that. And yeah, overall, I feel like that this works better as a Predaking than the MP. I don't know. That's just me. Maybe it's because they can't stray as far from the source material if you're working with the Legends, really. Like, well, I suppose you could, but not to the I guess degree of play that you have with the MP, like scale and budget and that sort of stuff. Let's check in with you guys a little bit before we go on. That's a wallet killer. Good thing I don't want Titans. Yeah, I mean, I guess it is, but like, I think it's $199 US. It's $299, $279 or something Canadian. $279 Canadian. When I got it, it was $179. So it's gone up $100. I don't know what the equivalent is in the US because I don't know what Fort Max was in the US. I hope you had some good finds, Caldillo. See, there you go. Pre-ordered Fort Max, right? Why not? Okay, right on. Okay. Let's move on here a little bit. TFCon Orlando is up and coming. Two, I think, very key, interesting guests have been announced. One, of course, is Bob Budiansky. Do I need to say any more? I mean, so much lore comes from Bob. So much fiction comes from Bob. A legend, of course, and one that I don't see announced as often as you would think. Victor Caroli. If you don't know Victor, then you should know Victor. He is the narrator for G1, and we all know that voice. His voice, absolutely iconic for G1. I don't feel like we see his name on the convention circuit as much as you'd think that we would see his name. So that'll be a treat for people going there. Speaking of cons, PulseCon is going to be September 22nd. From 11 to 4 Eastern Standard Time. They're going to cover a whole bunch of properties, G.I. Joe, Power Rangers, and of course, Transformers, among others. Apparently, after PulseCon is over, it's like 4 Eastern, that's when like the Hasbro Pulse pre-orders will go live. Why do I mention that? I mention that because that's when the Hotshot and Jolt Power Links combo should go up for pre-order. So on the 22nd at 4 Eastern, whatever your time zone is, do the math. Keep your eyes peeled if you are somebody who really wants that. PulseCon this year is going to be hosted once again by Thu Adams. I mean, the guy's hilarious, so I get it. And this year also by Dan Larson of Toy Galaxy / Secret Galaxy fame. A lot of us, myself included, love the History of series. I think that they're fantastic. And I know the work that obviously goes into that. I think two accurate hosts that the fandom, at the very least, know very well. Whether you like them or not is a different story, but they're certainly prolific. They're certainly well known. I enjoy them. I think that they're going to be bang up hosts. Time will tell, of course. Rise of the Beast. We saw some concept art for Waspinator, Ramhorn, and two for Spidor. I'm glad that this didn't make it. The Spidor and the Ramhorn, like, I'd live with it, but I did not like the Waspinator. It was too animated Waspinator with the more buggy legs, and it was like he had 4 arms. Even if you had nailed the head, I don't know if it would have been the way to go. It was creative, but I think maybe a little too far off the beaten path. I don't know. Too many people know Waspinator. He's too mainline. He at least needs to have his head. I think the bug thing on his chest, right? The bug head on his chest. And I think his coloring has to be predominantly green, or I think it would have been a mistake. Yeah, go back, use what you got, take it back, work on it a bit more. That's my take on it. If you want to see that concept art, I think it was on T-Formers. I know it's on TFW. DNA Design is upgrading your Rise of the Beast Scourge. This one is a set that's going to come with some fillers for the thighs and I'm going to say the front of the legs to make them look more like the film, a new head and a mask that's removable from the head, new arms, as well as a new that blade piece thing. So there's a significant amount that's changing. Seems to make him a little bit shorter, but he feels stockier and looks more like the animation on screen. I kind of like the Studio Series one the way it is, but I understand people who would want to have this upgrade kit. And I've often said that I think DNA Design does nice work. I think the big thing here is probably the head sculpt with the removable mask. I feel like that would be like the real standout star there. Maybe the arms, because the claw is definitely not as long and like spindly. It's more like his claw was in the film, right? Bludgeon, the Legacy Evolution Bludgeon, that's out in the US right now. So if you're looking for it, the Voyagers are out. If Bludgeon's out, you got to believe Trashmaster's out. Let's talk fashion for a moment, shall we? By way of fun.com. Fun.com is doing I guess, a range of Transformers clothing, including a men's blazer where it's quite nice. It's black. It has like an Autobot print on the inside, and the cuffs, where like the cufflinks would be, have a little Autobot logo. It's subtle, but it's nice. They're also doing, hold on, Bumblebee and Optimus, like plush, like backpacks. I think the Optimus one might be a mini backpack. So if you're into like the little backpacks, you want them to look like Transformers, go for it. There's an adult Transformers ugly Christmas sweater, which is pretty cool. It's an ugly Christmas sweater with basically Transformers and Optimus Prime on the front. I think he's in the pose like he is on his G1 packaging, if I'm not mistaken. And there's a Bumblebee Union suit, which just looks like a lounging suit. And it looks like there's already an Optimus one that has like a little hood and stuff. If you want to sit down and hang out and look like Bumblebee or Optimus. Or maybe you look like Optimus and your significant other looks like Bumblebee. Or maybe you look like Bumblebee and your significant other looks like Optimus. The options are endless, except that's about the end of them. Speaking of fashion, there's also, and I'm going to do this now and cover it because that way I got it out of the way. There's also going to be, hold on, where is it? I need to find it so that I can mark it off appropriately. Yeah, there's going to be a collaboration, I suppose you could say, with Transformers and Bobby Abley. And like he has like some sportswear. There's jerseys. There's like an Optimus Prime jacket. Like an Autobot jumpsuit that's like all black with like lit Autobot logo detail on the shirt, and I think maybe Optimus on one leg and like B on the other. They're interesting. I feel like the Bobby Abley stuff is very trendy. Very, very trendy. The Transformers references are generally subtle, even though like the tracksuit has like a big Autobot logo on it. It's the line work that I think you're supposed to focus on. I don't know. I don't know a lot about fashion, but of the two from fun.com and Bobby Abley, the Bobby Abley stuff seems more high-end, more sophisticated, more tailored, as where the fun.com stuff just seems like it is fun. Make of that whatever it is that you will. And I'm going to just finish the last two notes right here, and then I'm going to check in with you guys again. Just give me a moment. Rise of the Beast Novocaine, we saw images for. It looks like Freezer, except the head is battle damaged, and you know the bronzy, goldy coloring is a little bit different. Otherwise, it's the same thing. I don't know. Nothing to write home about, I guess. And XM Studios is doing a G1RC who's in a very dynamic pose. And this statue, it's a statue, is a great rendition of the robot next to like her car form. I assume that they're all one statue. Maybe they're two different ones. I'm not sure. You can keep her visor, head, face, visor on her. Or if you just want her to have her usual RC eyes, you can remove the visor. It's a very dynamic pose where she's holding her rifle and stuff. Similarly, there is a G1 Prowl statue done much the same way. His alt mode down by his foot. The robot, very, very detailed. He's holding a riot shield, which is kind of a neat take that we don't often see for Prowl. But again, these are painted to the nines, sculpted to the nines, detailed to the nines. They're statues, so they're not going to move. You'd have to get them because you love you a little bit of Transformers art. Okay, let's check in with you guys here a little bit and see what it is you are saying, and then I'll go on again. Whereabouts was I? About here, I think. Hey, Joel, if I didn't say it already, buddy. Yeah, a little bit early today. It's not often it happens, but a little bit early today. Hey, Ash. The Masterpiece version, is it a work of art? Like, I see it and I'm like, it's impressive for sure. It's super impressive. But as a Predaking, it wouldn't work for me. It's too stylized. He would have to be his own thing. He's beautiful, but I feel like he'd have to be his own thing because it's just, if you didn't tell me it was Predaking, I'm not 100% sure I'd recognize it. But yes, I agree. The love of the design is there. There's no doubt about it. Pre-ordered Fort Max. Hey, Jay. Not too much going on yet. We're just going through the news. As we go down here a bit. I don't know. It looks to me like it's probably for an Xbox, but I really don't know. It's a console controller, but I don't know for what system. Hey, Omega. Hey, Grimlock on, if I didn't say it to you earlier, buddy. Victor came back on Titan's Return. I don't remember that. Yeah, Boo Pauls. Recently watched your line continuity video, and it was interesting. There was a lot that went into that. And of course, you can see really why it's kind of a bit of a mess of a timeline by the time you get to the end of it, right? Because of, too many cooks in the kitchen, among other things, of course. Still couldn't find Studio Series 102 Optimus Prime. Keep looking, I guess, if you're dead set on it. Same price as current Titans. Okay, yeah. Yes, GoBots came first before Transformers. It should be Rodimus Primal as host. I guess if you like Rodimus Primal, then I guess you could want him as a host. Sure, why not? I suppose. As much as I want Waspy in the movies, it didn't look like him. I agree, it didn't really look like him. Hey, Lee. Hope you enjoyed your holiday, buddy. Was it awesome? I don't know. I don't think it was for me. I have not watched TJ's Omega rewrite of Beast Machines. I don't know what that is, so I'm going to say no, I haven't. I think Scourge is fine at a box. Me too. I think he's fine at a box. I respect that people want him to be animation accurate, but I like him at a box too. I kind of dug that head design. It was kind of like a messed up knight or something, right? First I'm hearing of Rise of the Beast concept art on Waspinator. Check out the news sites. Waspinator. It's the best I could tell you, dude. Your Walmart sold out of 86 Starscream. Now it's all Blitzwing. Hey, Hot Wheels. You recently got Nova Prime. But good for you. I hope you enjoyed. I love tacos. They're great. Hope Studio Series 102 Optimus Prime gets a mass release. I would think some version of it would at some point. It's weird that they would make them a Target exclusive. A friend of mine is locked only on first 3 movies of Sam and Bumblebee. Well, that's his choice, I suppose. Well, there's a little more to Nova Prime than a universe conqueror. That's not exactly right. He just wanted to, you know what? I'll get into him when I get into him. But he just wanted expansion. I could kind of see why you're saying that, but it's a little exaggerated. He'd love it though. He would love that bravado. Why can't we get a Studio Series 2007 Frenzy? I don't know. Maybe they will do one eventually. I'm excited for 86 Magnus. Oh, well, I'm removing. Sorry, man. I got to remove that because you said the name that I'm not willing to have said here. I don't support thieves, and I don't support people that buy from thieves. So I'm not going to acknowledge that. Hot Wheels. What went wrong with Transformers the last night? I don't know. Nothing went wrong with it for me. I think it's fine. It doesn't matter when no, I'm going to remove that one too, Hot Wheels. That's twice. Leave it. That's my best advice, buddy. I hope we get a Transformers Studio Series 86. Why? I don't see that happening at all. They have released the Titans Return one, or sorry, they have released the Combiner Wars one twice. No, it's not going to happen. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's not in the cards. How much Transformers Earthspark did you watch? All of it. I got to the end of the season. Fantastic season that got really messed up near the end. Very dark, it matured a lot by the end, right? A lot of stuff happened. So I'm a big fan of that. Can't wait for season 2. We'll get into that in a bit. Anyway, going on. Rise of the Beast Noah comes in 2 parts. The Studio Series 1 that comes in 2 parts. And it's weird because he doesn't really transform. The plane can fly on its own, or you can put it on his back. And it's not a deep peg, so I'm hoping it's secure. But really, to transform him, all you're doing is putting the arms down by his side and the feet out, and that's it. That's it. His color scheme does seem to match Mirage, which I think is nice. I don't hate this. He didn't have an alt mode. I'm cool with the plane being on his back. I'm all right with that. Why not do it that way? I didn't think I would like it, but I think it's okay. But it's not much to call a transformation. Just saying. It's like Transformation 101, the basic of basic transformations. Okay. Japan is going to have a Japanese Beast Wars 2 day to celebrate the October 1st, 1997 first premiere of Beast Wars. So they're on the 1st of October, they're doing a whole day. Included on this will be a compilation film from Beast Wars Season 1, a 45-minute original Beast Wars 2 animation that will feature both Optimus Primal and Lio Convoy. So that's kind of cool. That's a new how am I going to say this? That's a new story, I suppose. You know, I got to do something here, guys. Yeah, okay. Moving on. It's also going to have a Beast Wars 2 animation with Primal and Lio Convoy. And then they're also going to have the Japanese versions of Bad Spark, along with some like preamble stuff and Cutting Edge, which I thought was Beast Machines, but maybe it's a Transmetals episode. Not sure. But there you go. Cool. I think that's really neat. A whole day dedicated to Beast Wars. Yeah, I'm down with it. Studio Series 86 Magnus, just a quick note. He is being sold as 9.5 inches. This is significantly shorter than the other ones that we've gotten, including the Armada Optimus Prime. I'm really hoping that all of his mass is in his body. Otherwise, this is a big step down for Commander class. Now, that said, the way the truck can detach, the cab can detach is nice. Even if it doesn't do the robot, the way that the cab actually folds up is quite nice. The legs seem to have a pretty inspired transformation. There's a lot of panel folding at the shoulders. I will say that. I feel confident, even at only 9.5 inches. That's small for a Commander, but I feel confident that that loss in height is made up for inner body mass. Like I think he's still going to clock in at a respectable mass and stuff to go along with all of his other wonderful qualities. To be a true blue commander. But it's just interesting that it's a big jump down from a foot tall, like Jetfire was, for example, to now 9.5 inches. Very, very, very interesting note. Of also interesting note is that in some comparisons, he's supposed to be, based on the Sunbow chart, the height of Rodimus and Springer. He's significantly bigger. But he's the same height, really, as the Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus and, say, Titan's Return 6-shot. So this is a commander class that is the height of old leader class. Big price difference, though, there. Even today, big price difference there. And I'm really hoping, though, that the difference will be in that parts count, that mass, right? That's what I'm really, really hoping. I think he's great, but he's an interesting one to watch. That's for sure. He's an interesting one to watch. YOLOPARK showed their AMK Pro Megatron again, taking feedback from fans, and they kind of done some work and redesign on his face, and I still feel like it's a little off. Not much, though. This is better. The only thing that seems to be missing now that I would personally want is his eyebrows. They're just left. Like his triangles are there, are just under his helmet, but like his eyebrows down by his eyes are left. Like I personally would feel like I would still need to paint that in to have him look accurate. But that's just me. Apparently, a lot of fans are a big fan of this, so make of that what you will. Studio Series, Rise of the Beast, Mirage, and Nightbird images. The Mirage has a great head sculpt, and he looks all right from the front, other than the clear arms with the paint on them. Not enough paint. You should have at least had silver or something on there too. From the side and the back, he looks rough, man. Real rough, I gotta say. Not for me. The Nightbird, she is interesting. I love her head sculpt. She has pretty skinny limbs and then odd feet. But she's definitely much more darker than like the mainline one that comes in the 3-pack. That has a lot of beige on it. Interestingly, the Studio Series one is shorter than the mainline one. The engineering definitely more complicated, no doubt. But I find it interesting that the Studio Series one is shorter than the mainline one. Make of that what you will. And a 15 centimeter Mochi bots. These are basically Bumblebee, Cliffjumper, Optimus, and Nemesis Prime, done for Asian markets, being like China and Japan, and I guess that's the only countries that were listed for the site that these are being sold on. But I assume it's for all Asian markets. They're little plushies, very simple, cute. I guess we'll say that they're cute. I'm going to check in with you guys, and then we're going to do the last. Actually, I'm going to do this piece of news. That way, I'll check in with you guys, and we'll do the last two pieces of news, and then the trivia. Beast Wars Inferno has minimal from the 2-pack that's coming up. We've now seen a lot of new images. The Inferno has minimal color changes from the main release. For example, the inside of the leg where the blue detail is now has it like a purple detail coming down from it as well, that the mainline one just doesn't have. Not a big enough change on him to make much of a noticeable difference. However, then we get to Airazor. And Airazor has a significant amount of differences intended to enhance the bird mode. In robot mode, not a lot of difference. Her full bicep is now gold rather than part of it being gray and part of it being gold. Other than that, a lot of the robot mode stuff is pretty similar. The wings have a beautiful fading done on them that I've never seen anything like it before, and it looks very much like feathers. Overall, the bird parts are darker. The claws are colored in. The face has more detail on it. And I already thought the Kingdom one was pretty great for Airazor in terms of look. This one's beautiful. Again, I don't see a need to double dip, but man, it's a wonderful mold, and this looks like a tremendous version of Airazor. Okay, let's check in with you guys, and then we'll do the kind of Hasbro business focus a little bit. Just a little bit. And we're going to do, just gotta bring that back. Hold on. And then we'll do kind of my reaction to some like Earthspark. I don't want to say news. Earthspark interview. I don't know, information, I guess. Let's check in with you guys. We go up here a little bit. Oh, sorry if that. Shook there, guys. If anyone wants G2 Devastator because I see knockoffs in your department store, yeah, no doubt. Did Hasbro produce the Noah toy with his normal rip-off suit? I don't think so. I don't think you're going to get a return to Cybertron storyline, Omega. I'm pretty sure that the focus is on the Terrans and Earth and the lore of Quintus's Emberstone. And anyway, the story's not close to over. We may eventually see a return to Cybertron, but I'm not gonna bet the farm that that's gonna happen in season 2. It could, but I don't think that's where it's going this early. It might go there eventually, but I don't think it's going to happen this early. Is Beast Wars anime movie going to be what? Union dubbed? I don't know. I doubt it. I hope we get Transmetal ones in Transformers Generations. Yeah, that'd be pretty good. Some of the Transmetals for sure. Listening to it on the on the drive home, as you always are. Drive safe, buddy. See, I remember seeing an Iron Man Transformer toy, and it looks good. Yeah, they've done a whole bunch of Marvel ones like several years ago now. Thoughts on the what? Lost episode, Beast Wars, Dark Glass. I wish we got that episode. We should have gotten Dark Glass, actually, because if we'd gotten the Lost episode, that would have filled in a couple of things that came up later on that sort of seemed weird, not explained. I mean, I'm not giving my thoughts on it because I have news to cover. But the long story short is it kind of provided the entire reasoning and background as to why Dinobot 2 had Dinobot's memories, right? That was all because of that last episode. And we didn't really get it, right? Yeah, the scale is kind of off on it. It's all kind of whack. I actually agree with you, therefore. Scale has been loose in this franchise. That's true. But I mean, they do have the Sunbow chart to go by, right? And I know that that's as imperfect as it gets. But, you know, if you want an argument, there you go, right? Is it just, or does Ultra Magnus look like, yes, Ultra Magnus looks like Optimus Prime. They're from the same lineage of the original 13, right? They're both like descendants of Prima. Let's see. Can't wait for Nightbird, says Jay. I don't wince at clear plastic. It's just weird. Oh, gold. Well, now none of it. Like clear, gold, it's all fine now. But back in the day, gold. I haven't had, again, guys, I got to say it. Like, I haven't had any issues with clear plastic. None. Not any more than I have any other plastic on the planet. So it's not really a thing that I know. I did have old gold plastic when GPS used to be a thing. I did have some of that shatter on me. Hey, Terry. Yeah, I hope we get a peek at Swoop soon too. I'm right there with you for sure. Air Razor is one of the best Beast Wars figures redone. I absolutely agree with you, Jay. Air Razor was done so well, so well. As we go down here, hey Sovereign, just saw 86 Magnus, and I am blown away with how he transforms. I don't know if it's mind-boggling, but it's definitely interesting. It's definitely inspired. I do think it's going to be pretty intuitive, though. Like, that's the nice thing. I think it's going to be pretty intuitive. Go down here a little bit. Does anyone know the answer about what Cerebros Emissary transformed into before becoming a headmaster? I don't know if we ever knew, to be honest with you. Yeah, yellowing is the issue these days. Still working, still listening. Okay, so if I skipped your comment, I apologize. I'm trying to get through the news. Let's do this and get out of here. So Hasbro was part of a fireside chat recently that was kind of put up, I think, by like Goldman Sachs or something. And they were talking about kind of the future focus, longevity, whatnot of the company. And Chris Cox mentioned that Hasbro is seeking to right-size their entertainment, whatever that means. It's why they sold off a lot of the E1 assets. So I don't know what right-sizing the entertainment means. But he did say that they're looking to drive out costs, in other words, cost cut, drive up share, in other words, win more market share, presumably from Mattel, and then drive growth. So after you have cost cut to the nth degree and you own 95, 98% of the market, then you'll look at growing your what? Fan base? I don't know. At that point, you own everything. You're a monopoly. So monopoly. See what I did there? So I don't know. This seems like a lot of corporate babble talk that really, at the end of the day, means nothing. Um, he did also mention the burning flame of digital games, especially mobile games. And of course, we know that there will be like a game division under Hasbro Retro Arcade. And this is going to be Hasbro's new focus on digital and now this arcade style, like beat 'em up style arcade gaming. This is a new business for them. They're entering it first with G.I. Joe Wrath of Cobra. Let's see how that fares. If that does well, then I'm sure a Transformers one, probably Power Rangers one, and probably a My Little Pony one won't be far behind. G.I. Joe seems like a good place to start if you're doing like a beat 'em up, mash 'em up, shoot 'em up type of arcade side-scrolling thing. That's my take on that. A lot of babble from Chris Cox. They're moving into gaming. Let's see how it goes. It's a solid move because gaming and online gaming and digital gaming, that's where the real money's at now, right? And then Earthspark. Earthspark producers Ant Ward and Dale Malinowski had an interview recently. They said that the story is far from over yet. They said that they had concerns about Megatron now being cast as an ally and this being a post-war type of story where it's not your traditional just Autobots versus Decepticons, good guys versus bad guys. The lines are a little more blurred because this is how do they adjust and live when there isn't a war happening. Now, of course, we know we have a lot of Decepticon dissension and whatnot, and even Megatron is probably in a rock and a hard place. Even Optimus. Like the only time I felt like Optimus felt like himself was when he was like engaged in battle or when there was something going on that needed leadership. Otherwise, he was kind of like, I guess I have a sense of humor. I feel like even Optimus is trying to find himself, right? Ward says that the most rewarding thing that they did with this was creating new characters. And in a world that we live in now of 8 billion people, we have so many diverse cultures and so much diversity that being able to represent that in their show was important to them. And he said there is so much culture, so much diversity now that they're happy if they get even one person to broaden their perspective on how they treat and interact with people in the world. That says a lot about what they're looking to do with Earthspark. I've talked about it a fair bit in the last week or two about representation of all people and how everyone wants to see themselves in the characters that they love and watch. I think it's an important thing. And I think it's something that we, as a world, a global community, right, really should try to do more often. And I'm really proud of them for doing it. So they're happy about that. They said Earthspark is a story about family. And in season 2, we will see more maturity. We will see growth of that family. And we will see them deal with issues of trust and of loss. Are we going to lose some characters? Only time will tell. But you know what? You get a lot of idea about where their head is at and what they're trying to represent in this show there. And of course, being a post-war thing, like it's a whole open playing field. Let's do the trivia. I'll check in with you guys, then we'll do the unboxing. Get out of here. So tonight, the trivia. This is a very easy one. Very, very easy one. I know that Nova Prime has been like a hot issue lately. Here it is. What is the name of Nova Prime's ship? Is it A, the Proud Star? Is it B, the Morning Star? Is it C, the Morning Glory? Or D, the Shining Ark? Proud Star, Morning Glory, or Shining Ark? I'm going to check in with you guys and see what you said there, and then we'll see your answers, and we'll do the unboxing. Get out of here. Your bad experience was transparent plastic on your barricade that broke. That's sad. Jay's never had issues with it either. I mean, to each their own, right? They should go back to plastic windows with alt mode pricing. What? Alt mode packing in G1 form. I didn't like. I got to be honest. I don't know why everybody wants the alt mode packing. I've never liked it. I want to see the robot. That's how they're going to be 99% of the time. They're rarely going to be in their alt mode. So I don't know. I'm not much of an alt mode guy. Cost cuts are killing us. You're right. Well, no, it's killing them is what it's doing. Yeah, right side entertainment, meaning make more visible. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Sean. Or ROM. Could be ROM. Yeah, could be ROM. That would be a good one for like a side scroller type of thing. This is why rich politicians are taking money from our wallets. Absolutely. Optimus Prime transforms into his truck and rams the enemy as a special. That's nice. Speaking of Optimus, in War for Cybertron, they made him look weak. But again, he wasn't, they didn't make him look weak. They made him look inexperienced. He's not, people got to remember like the timeline for some of this stuff, right? Like this is an Optimus that's not the leader we all know and love. This was an Optimus that's very inexperienced. And he was trying to figure out how to lead himself. He was, he was learning. He was learning how to lead. He wasn't the seasoned, battle-tested leader that we all know from G1, for example, right? So no, I don't think he seemed weak or confident. I think he seemed like a guy that I'm just learning as I go and I don't really know what I'm doing, right? And you just said, like the G1 we know from 84, because he's not. He's millions of years before that, right? You got to look at the timeline, baby. Let's see here. Proud Star, Death Star. Arc 1, surely. It's Freddy. Okay. Hey, Freddy. Not everyone keeps their figures in robot mode. Mine stay primarily on mode. I guess. Okay, well, I appreciate it, Freddy. What? The War for Cybertron Prime is 10% animated, 10% movie, 80% G1. Not a bad breakdown, actually, Blue. I think I think so. The answer, by the way, is the Proud Star, which he launched during the Golden Age, which was Cybertron's age of expansion because he thought that Cybertronians were like, we're the best, man, so we should go everywhere. And anyway, that didn't quite work out for him. He became Nemesis Prime for a while. It was a whole thing. But yes, it was the Proud Star. Those of you who said it, you got it right. Let's do the unboxing. And then, ladies and gents, we can get out of here. Sound good? Sound good? Let's do it. So I have two more things. Now, as I said, about 2 weeks ago, I had several weeks worth of unboxing stuff here, right? Because a bunch of stuff came in early. Thus far, we've already seen previously all four of the deluxes for the latest wave of Legacy, that being Bombshell, Detritus, Shadow Striker, and Strongarm. And we also saw the Buzzworthy Bumblebee Scorponok, who, for the price, isn't that bad. We're going to continue on here now this week with two more. And one of them is RID 2001, Toline, the Buzzworthy Bumblebee one. This is his packaging. So just to be clear, tomorrow there's something a little bit different coming. Not a review. It's a fun little collab that I sort of done with Lazy Eyebrow and Anthony and T-Fan Page 101, Brian. It should be a laugh. It should be a laugh tomorrow. Then next week, we're going to have a look at Bombshell and something interesting on Friday as well. So the following week, we'll do this guy and Trash Master. You'll notice I only have the box again. Trash Master. So we'll do a Junkion week with those two. But after those two are done, then I'm going to show you, hold on here. Hold on here. Give me a quick moment. There's that. And, oh, of course, this would happen to me now. Bear with me a second, because of course, what is inconvenient would have to happen to me right now. Ain't that just grand? Um, Gosh, okay, hold on. We'll do that. And hold on. Technical difficulty. There. There. That seem right? Yeah, that seems right. So after we get both of that done, oh man, this went smoother in practice. This went smoother in practice. But once we get all of that done, then I'm gonna have a look at this guy. It is not the Mark Mar version of Junkosaurus. It's a little bit different, and I'm gonna see how sturdy it is, how well it works. Yes, I do have two arms for him. Um, and we're going to compare him with some of the other like Combiner Wars combiners to see how he scales. So we'll do a bit of a junkie on week. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. And then who knows? Maybe we'll get back to those Beast Wars KOs. Who knows? But there you go. So a couple of Junkions and a Junkion combiner this week. Yeah, a bit short tonight, but that's just the way the news and stuff goes sometimes. You're going to grant me some powers? Thanks, Freddie. Appreciate it, buddy. Hey, Bing Bong Toys. A hunk of junk, right? What? Someone on my Facebook group did a Junkosaurus with the fossilizers attached. Yeah. I mean, that could be a pure nightmare too, right? I mean, the possibilities are endless, right? So I'll show you how mine went together. Anyway, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We can get out of here. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for coming by, giving me some of your extremely, extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, please hit the subscribe button. Stick around. Have some fun with us here on the channel. And especially don't forget, man, that somehow, some way, each and every single solitary day, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or of course the old fashioned way right here inside the videos.